What is up, YouTube, fish tube, and fish fam? This is yours truly, Rob with the Freeze Aquariums. Today I want to bring to you a heater. Show you the heater, give you some of the specs, tell you my thoughts on it. So stay tuned. So to go a little bit into the specs of the AQ-015 300 watt, your heater itself is 11.4 inches tall, 2.17 wide. Then from your heater to your heater control box, this is not waterproof. This goes outside the tank. You have 4 feet of cord here. From your controller to your plug, you have another 5 foot 9 inches of plug. No problem in setup. Most of us have a plug or a surge protector within reach. With something like this, I prefer to plug it directly in the wall because of the wattage that it uses. I mean, this particular one is 110 volt, 60 hertz, which is no different than that light. It's going to draw a little bit more. This particular heater they recommend, or they say, is applicable for an 80 to 95 gallon. The temp accuracy is plus or minus 0.1. Pretty good. The temp control will range from 59 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the specs on the heater. So let's talk about some of the features. So this particular model, they have 5 different models. Now, the first 3 from 100 watt, 200, 300 watt, they share the same model number, AQ-015, then it's -100W, -200, -300W. After that, they have the AQ-020, -500, and -800 watts. So with those, you're looking at the same distance, 4 feet from heater to controller, and then you're looking at 6.3 feet from controller to your wall or to the end of your plug. So even more of a distance. They recommend the 500 watt for any tank from 66 to 135 gallon, 80 to 220 gallon for the 800 watt. The temp accuracy is the same, 0.1 plus or minus. The temp control is different. That ranges from 68 to 93 as opposed to this 300 model and the lower 59 to 93. All right, so now that we've discussed the models that they have, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the features. Rapid thermal acclimation, the adjustable hook. So if you have a frame on there and it needs to be wide, not a problem. If you have the rimless one, push it in, hang it on your tank. It's pretty sealed, but let's err on the side of caution and put it somewhere where you're not going to have to worry about splashing it while you're maintaining your tank, or your fish are frolicking about, or your cichlids are trying to gain supremacy in the tank. So with all that being said, with the features, again, the rapid thermal acclimation, the adjustable hook, the auto power off, you have a warning signal, which I will get into. You have the dual temperature probe, memory function, and the LED temperature display. So looking at this, you have your current temperature, you have the temperature that you have it set at, you have your keep, and you have your heat. One's red, one's blue. As it's heating up, you'll see the red indicator showing up in the heat. Once it gets to your desired temperature, it'll switch to blue, and it'll let you know it's keeping it constant. Now, that's a lot of stuff, just enough features packed right in here. Now you can do away with the, well, you can actually keep it in there as a backup or a fail-safe. The glass suction cup ones that never seem to stay suctioned to the glass, and you see them floating around your tank. This is going to tell you what your current temperature is, and it will remind you, hey, you set this at 74. We're good, they match. If the room gets cold in the evening, it'll come on, it'll ramp itself up within that 1 degrees drop, it's going to bring it back up. So the temperature drop is going to be 1 degree. It's not going to let it drop drastically. The memory function, if you lose power, it's going to retain what you have it set for. Another plus, another feature that you don't find at this price point in a lot of other heaters. So with this, it is by default, if I'm not mistaken, set up for Fahrenheit. Now, for a lot of you folks that are across the pond, if you press and hold that setting button down for 5 seconds, it's going to flip this from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Problem solved. Now with this, you'll just press it until you get the desired temperature that you want, set it and forget it. Great feature. So now we're going to talk about one that's near and dear to all of our hearts, and one that I think we've all done at least once, twice, some cases maybe a lot more. Here's your scenario. Going to do water changes. Like a lot of us, we have MTS, we have multi-tank syndrome. Where I'm sitting now, I have 5 tanks. I will take a submersible pump. Now I can suction cup the pump to the side of the glass, and I don't have to worry about the scenario I'm going to set up for you, but that's another video that you can check out that's on the channel. I'll link it. So now you're doing water changes, you're doing things in other tanks, you're letting your Python, your Aqueon, your homemade siphon go to town, or your regular siphon. I do big water changes. Now, for whatever reason, I put this heater right there in the tank. Not a big deal. It's as big as it is. There's flow right there, and then there's flow on the other side. So it's going to heat the tank up evenly. Me personally, I put mine way down here to avoid this scenario. I know, shut up, get to the scenario. All right, here we go. Water change, it's drawing. I'm moving on to my other tanks. Now all of a sudden, our glass heater is there. And now part of the heater is exposed. More of it is exposed. And now you smell that funny burning stench. All the stuff that has built up on the heater as long as it's been in there is now burning away as the heater is burning itself dry. You know that smell. So when you do water change and stuff, usually one of two things happen. You either burn up your heater or you overflow your tank. We have been guilty of both. No more. This does have the dry burning protection. So what's going to happen is when the water gets to, and this number strikes me odd, 1.97 inches below. For those across the pond, 5 centimeters below the dry burning protection, what's going to happen is it's going to turn itself off. Then, which I think this display is going to be fantastic, especially for people that are so busy, you know, you love your fish, you take care of your fish, you take care of your tank, but sometimes you're, you know, caught up in life. At a glance, temperature, where it's set, what it's doing. Now all of a sudden you're doing water changes, it's dropped. Now you're going to get an E1, and E is in Edward, and number 1 letting you know this has to be re-submersed. Now enter in the memory function. You don't have to unplug it, you don't have to reset it, just get this back underwater. This will now go back into the memory setting, and it's going to bring the temperature up to whatever you have set. 2 great features that work in unison to one another. One to say, hey, this is above the water. This one says I'm above the water, I'm going to turn it off so that I don't burn up. Don't find that in price points like this. So I touched on the features. Now we're going to kind of go into the quality of this particular heater and kind of in the performance area, I guess you could say. So if you're going to be able to see this they take pride in telling us that this is that it has a fast heating speed and it's high quality material. So what you're looking at is a high temperature resistant PVC material, meaning this. Then if you look inside here, this is the explosion proof high quartz glass. And if you look even closer, it almost looks like it's got some silver particles in it. What that is a high temperature resistant nickel chromium heating wire with the silicon carbide materials. The conduction materials allows this to heat up fairly quickly. Now when we talk about the performance end of this, and what I mentioned, the nickel chromium heating wire, in a 2-hour span, it's going to heat your water within, it's going to heat it to 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit, or again, overseas, 1 Celsius. So it's going to be a slow ramp up to heat it up. This is kind of a pretty solid and explosion-proof heater. Final thoughts on the AQQA or AQUA AQ-015 300-watt heater. Other than the minor issue with the clip and that little tiny piece of plastic that holds the clip on, I think it's pretty decent. Now, to go back to the heating controller, you've put love, sweat, and tears into your tank, and the last thing you want to see is this giant black box on the front of your tank. But you want to be able to take advantage of the features that are built into that heater controller. Put it on a side that you can see walking in the room, whatever side that may be. Get creative. You don't have to hang it on the side of the tank. You can, put it on the wall behind your tank. You can, rig it to hang somewhere so that it's not on the tank. Again, minor. My initial impressions on this heater is it's one of quality. The heating element, the quartz material that it's made out of, the nickel chromium material, the explosion proof up to, I think it was 1,000 Celsius. This is what it is in Fahrenheit because I don't know what it is offhand. The plastic being PC versus ABS plastic, it's much more tolerant to higher heat. It's not going to break down and fall apart. You can take it apart to clean the element. 100 to 300 has one, 500 to 800 has two. You can pull them apart, clean them. Now, as far as the features, you don't find a lot of these features, or at least these features combined, in a heater at this price. You have the rapid acclimation. It's going to heat up and it's going to ramp up safely to protect your fish from temperature shock or stressing them because of the rise in temperature. It'll be a slow step up process, as you saw. The dual temperature probe to make sure that your tank stays within 1 degree of whatever the temperature is that you have set. The length of the cord overall to be able to plug it in, in a wall socket. Hopefully, you can definitely plug it into a surge protector. Just don't put it in one of the cheap ones that you get from Dollar General or something like that. It's not worth the risk or the fire. Heating element in combination with the heat controller, where if the water drops below 1 inch or 2, it's going to send that E1, it's going to shut itself off, it's going to protect it from overheating and burning up like so many of these knockoff heaters, glass heaters do. It is solid from end to end. The encapsulation is protecting it from exploding. As you saw, two of the pictures that I put in the video of heaters that exploded. Now, going back to the E1, that brings me back to all the features that are built in the heat controller. Your current temp, what your temp is set at, red, heating up, E1, it's out of the water, blue means it's good, it's keeping a constant temperature, plus or minus the 1 degree difference. A lot of information that you can look at a glance and go on with life. I think as far as the blue, I would have preferred a green. Kind of goes with the red for stop, green for go,
keeping it simple. But in any case, it's something you can see at a glance. That's one less thing to worry about. If the red light's on, occasionally take a look and see if the temperature is ramping up and it gets back and switches over to the blue and everything is good again. Nothing to worry about. If it's still not, after an hour or 2 hours, not getting up, you're not seeing a temperature change, then you know, unless you have, some sort of auto top off or whatever and it's dumping in cold water, you know that there might be something going wrong with that heater. 12-month warranty. Reach out to HYGGER and say, hey, this is my issue, this is what happened, and they'll take care of you. Okay, so in my opinion, it definitely feels solid. The cord doesn't feel cheap and chintzy. The features, what it does to protect you and your fish, I think it's worth a look at if you're in the heater market. I was going to say if you're in the market for a heater, but I was trying to recover there. If you're looking to maybe swap out an old glass heater that's just not doing its job, it's not keeping that temperature up in the range that you want it in, this could be a viable replacement for you. Now, with that being said, I don't get paid to do these reviews from HYGGER. If it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good, my initial thoughts if it's good, and if it's crap, I'm going to tell you it's crap. Now, in my opinion, this heater is good. I'll do another video where I put it in and we'll kind of watch what it does and see how everything works, and then I can tell you again if it's good or not. But if you want to try it out, there's a link right here, and then use this code, DeFreeze, in the discount section, and they'll save you 15% off this heater or anything that's on the website from HYGGER. Anything that you see, order it, put in that discount code, save yourself 15%. That's my way of giving back to you. Now also, if you use that link, it's my affiliate link, I will get a small amount of money. Again, HYGGER, thank you for stepping up to the plate. So with that, folks, this is Rob with DeFreeze Aquariums. As always, keep those sleeves wet. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Peace.